We got another front coming in, but it won't bring in a big cool down, but restored low humidity for the upcoming weekend, along with some spring-like conditions returning before it gets warmer again early next week. Tonight, some clouds with spotty showers, still breezy, gusty tomorrow, but becoming sunny and less humid through the day. Overnight low 50s to 60. Tomorrow afternoon, low 70s. Sunshine Saturday, about low 70s. Sunday will start at crisp, the high temperatures of low 70s. Ralph Sanji, WGS. So, warmer days are ahead, and you're invited to fun family shopping at the Spring into Summer Arts and Crafts Show. There'll be an Easter bunny and free face painting for the kids. No admission charge and doors open at 9 a.m. Saturday, February 24th, Magnolia Park Recreation District, 13,000 Louisiana 40, Folsom, Louisiana. No admission charge and doors open at 9 a.m. Get more info on Facebook at Spring into Summer Arts and Crafts Show.
The views and opinions expressed during this show are those of the hosts and guests only. In no way do they represent the views, positions, or opinions expressed or implied of WGSO 990 AM or North Shore Radio, LLC.
It's time to join Huck and Dave for 1 hour of educational news and conversation. They will discuss the current events that you are not going to hear on the mainstream media. The left wants to silence our free speech and take away our liberties. Huck and Dave want to open up the lines of communication and allow you, our listeners, to speak about what America wants. Call Huck and Dave for open discussions at 504-556-9696. Or you can reach them at libertyorlockdown.live. Now, let's go live and direct to Huck and Dave for Liberty or Lockdown.
Welcome back to Liberty or Lockdown. This is Huck.
And this is Dave.
And here we are again on another Thursday. We have a great show planned for everyone today. We have our returning guest, Dr. Peter McCullough, on the line. Dr. Peter McCullough has been fighting this COVID heresy of the lies for several years now. And
the pandemic.
The pandemic, yes. And it's been a blessing to have him with us here the last couple of years, catching us up and fighting the good fight. So, Dr. Peter McCullough, without any delay, are you with us, sir?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you back. And I know that so much has happened just since the last time you've been with us. But what I'd like to do, we only have an hour show, but in that it's 4 different commercials in between the breaks. So Dr. Peter McCullough, really quickly, give everyone an explanation of just going backwards from 2020 briefly to 2021, 22, 23, and today 2024. Where did we come out of? Where did we go to? And where are we now?
Let me just go back very briefly to 2005. The CARES Act, HHS and Congress wrote the CARES Act. It said we will have a pandemic. And in fact, they mentioned in there a coronavirus pandemic and other 2005 legislation was written to provide liability protection from any countermeasures, medications, or vaccines used. Now, between 2012 going forward, there were 36 pandemic preparedness planning events. The word pandemic was used. In fact, it was planned. 25 of them are filmed, and 6 of them, 25 have written documents, 6 are filmed, including the Johns Hopkins SPARS pandemic planning event and Event 201 with the Chinese CDC director is there. Our current director of national intelligence, Avril Haines, is there. So this was actually planned the entire time. Recently, Anthony Fauci testified in Congress the same week I testified there, and he admitted that the creation of SARS-CoV-2 virus was for the purpose of creating a vaccine. That's the whole reason to do this. And as things roll out in 2020, the virus is pretty serious for older people. McCullough protocol and other treatments appear to be the only thing that works. The vaccines come in 2021, and the vaccines failed miserably. It was quickly figured out they don't stop the virus, they don't stop transmission, they don't reduce hospitalization and death. Then we started to learn about vaccine side effects. So as the virus got milder, everyone got it, by the way. 97% of Americans got COVID. We got through it. early treatment's the only thing that worked. Once we get natural immunity, we can get it again, but it's pretty mild. And it turns out the vaccines have been associated with record numbers of injuries, disabilities, and deaths.
That's exactly right. So before anyone goes into the conspiracy theorist realm, let me give you a little bit of information about Dr. Peter McCullough. He's an internist, cardiologist, epidemiologist, holding degrees from Baylor University, University of Texas Southwestern Medical School, University of Michigan, and Southern Methodist University. And he manages common infectious diseases as well as cardiovascular implications of both the viral infection and the injuries developing after COVID-19 vaccines in Dallas, Texas, USA. So now that many people have awakened, and there's still many that haven't, it's unbelievable. Today, you'd think they would know better. There's so much information. Where are we?
Recent Rasmussen survey, January 12, 2024, indicated that 53% of Americans said the vaccines are causing serious side effects, leading to large numbers of deaths. 53% said that, but 47% don't think so. So about 75% of Americans took a vaccine by the COVID States program. The CDC says that 95% of us took a shot. That's too high. And there's a lot of people, certainly in your listener area, that didn't take the vaccine. I didn't take it. It was never safe. And what we've learned now is the vaccines do install the genetic code for the lethal part of the virus, the spike protein. We can now measure antibodies against the spike protein in blood tests. So we're figuring out how much people have inside them. The vaccines last a very long time. Pfizer and Moderna are lasting probably months to years in the body. We don't know actually if the body can get rid of them. The spike protein lasts even longer. It builds up in tissues, including the heart, the brain, the lungs, the other organs. It causes blood clotting more than we've ever seen before. We're seeing blood clotting both with the infection and after having the infection, as well as the vaccines, the largest blood clots we've ever seen. And we know the major areas of damage to the body are the cardiovascular, neurologic, thrombotic, and immunologic systems. And so I'm very busy now in practice every day managing people who've suffered from either the infection, so-called long COVID, or the vaccine, or both. And since the vaccines never worked, most people with long COVID took the vaccines, and so now they're stuck.
So, you're right. I got COVID 3 times, but I did not get the vaccine myself. My family and I, and we just knew. I just knew. I feel like the Lord, put it in my heart early on. I was one that followed some of Alex Jones's stuff early on. And if it weren't for that man, he's the one who really showed, many people ahead of time what was going on. And I thank God for him. And I know it's very conspiratorial to even say his name, but it's kind of crazy that you're on one side of the fence or the other. And people still, have a hard time believing that there's mRNA inside the vaccine.
I recently testified in Congress, and I told Congress that the FDA says that they are genetic technologies, that we should be worried about safety problems for a minimum of 5 years after the shot. It could be up to 15 years. That's in the FDA guidance. People said, well, when is this over with? You mentioned Alex Jones. You could have said, me or Tucker Carlson or Joe Rogan. We can go on and on. None of us took the vaccines. We tried to warn people that the vaccines weren't safe. I published an op-ed in The Hill for the House, the Senate, and the White House in August of 2020. I said, listen, this is a gamble to install brand new genetic code. It's never been tested before. Install the spike protein in the human body. How do we get it out of the body once it's in there? And we try to warn people as much as we can. We're not conspiracy theorists. It turns out we're right on these points. But the best way to put it is that we're rational theorists. We actually had rational concerns from the very beginning, and we were proven to be correct. So the word conspiracy theorist, that's actually a propaganda term. And there's now a cluster of these projects. So I don't even use the term. There's a couple of terms not to use because they were used in Nazi Germany for propaganda, and that's misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, anti-vaxxer, anti-science, conspiracy theorist. I would not use any one of those terms because they're actually terms that are trying to establish a power dynamic. It's actually bad to use those words.
Oh, well, then I won't do it ever again. Thank you very much. This is Liberty or Lockdown. Just give us a few minutes. We'll be right back with Dr. Peter McCullough.
America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Some of them old bars down in the Louisiana legislature are willing to let teachers teach our kids that all white people are inherently racist, and that Louisiana is a racist state, and that America is a racist country. Them old bars are too chicken to stand up for America. They ought to be put out on the chicken bone. Some people in the Louisiana legislature want to permit the teaching of critical race theory in our state. That theory says that if two babies are born today, one black baby and one white baby, that the white baby is the mean racist oppressor of the black baby, and that the black baby is the weak, incompetent victim of the white baby. Unbelievable. Those people say that the innocent white baby by his DNA is bad and racist, and the black baby by his DNA is a weak victim who can never succeed. Only a total fool would believe or accept this idiocy. Yet they want to teach this foolishness to Louisiana's young people. Please call your legislator today and raise some sand. Hey, Mimi, we're moving.
Moving to Wednesdays at 5.
You can check out He Said, She Said on a new day.
Hump Day.
A new day, but we'll still be discussing and debating the hot topics.
And take your phone call.
You can listen to us on 990 AM, WGSO, WGSO.com.
And find out who's right. Of course, that's me.
No, of course, that's me. I've been doing this 23 years, Mimi.
Practice makes perfect.
So you see, we'll have plenty to talk about on He Said, She Said,
Wednesdays at 5.
right here on WGSO.
When the time came, I knew I had to find a place where Mom would be safe and active while still feeling independent. A place that was close to all of us and everything she needed. Locally owned and operated in the heart of Gonzales, I found Francois Ben's Senior Living. They specialize in independent and assisted living and memory care.
Call 225-647-BEND for more information on our special pre-leasing offers.
Francois Ben Senior Living. Experience life as it should be.
Tired of placing multiple calls to multiple vendors and getting the runaround? Turn to one resource who can get it done. Sir Speedy. We provide a wide spectrum of print, signs, and marketing services, all backed by more than 5 decades of experience. So when you need that new brochure, direct marketing campaign, or signage to promote your brand, give us a call at 504-586-9812 or visit us online at SirSpeedyNewOrleans.com. Everything you need, one resource, Sir Speedy.
Nope. Dr. Peter McCullough, we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to keep on fighting and talking about it until we, wake up every person that we know or every neighbor or every friend or family member. It's extremely important. I still have close family members who just refuse to even want to speak about it. You can't even have conversations with people, just an average conversation back and forth. The disagreement, they get irritated and either hang up on you or yell at you, and I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. Just a common conversation.
There's something about the psychology of all of this that's worth noting. that once people have taken these shots in the body, they know they can't get them out. And many psychologically can't handle the fact now that they've made a giant health mistake. And so you know this because when you bring it up, they'll say, I don't want to talk about it. There's not a single chief of medicine or dean of a medical school who's out there saying these shots are good for you. Not a single one. The doctors at these major institutions are really in the shadows, hiding. They know they've made a big mistake by pushing these. The companies that had mandates, none of the presidents have come out and said it was a good thing to have mandates. Again, they're ashamed of what they've done. And we know that, again, the psychology of it, that just tells you. Nobody comes out and said, yeah, I took 8 shots and it's a really good thing. I'm going to take number 9. No one's saying that. They know something is wrong.
It's unbelievable. So where are we with the Senate? And, how far did you get with this?
I've testified 3 times in the Senate. Now, the last time in 2022, I called for the vaccines to be removed off the market. Now in Congress, I've also made that call. I was in Congress and in a panel led by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Warren Davidson was there, Andy Biggs, Senator Johnson from the Senate. And Senator Johnson and I had a conversation. He doesn't believe right now that either the House or the Senate has the will to call for the vaccines to be pulled from the market. The FDA is not going to do it. The FDA, along with the CDC, they're actually actively advertising vaccines. The FDA should never be advertising or promoting a product. They're supposed to be an unbiased adjudicator of product safety. Instead, somehow they are now part of this vaccine syndicate. In my book, we call it the biopharmaceutical complex.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the Super Bowl. The player who's, the Swifty Swift boyfriend, he's all about Pfizer.
Well, to try to pull it back now would be to admit they were wrong, and they don't want to do that.
It's true. They went too far. You see, if they just would have been unbiased and said, well, we'll follow the information, they could have done it. And so it's very hard now for people to admit they're wrong. And particularly in government agencies, in politics, politicians are told never to admit they're wrong. And I think that's such bad advice. Americans are far more forgiving than what people give them credit for. We've got our 2 major presidential candidates. Neither one of them will admit there's any problem with the vaccines.
That's insane for me. That actually was a little difficult for me to see. I know that Trump was working on Operation Warp Speed. I remember that. And that was the J&J shot. And I think that, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was deceived into believing, or maybe he knew, I don't know, but that didn't have the mRNA. Is that correct?
Well, the first one out of the gate was Pfizer, then Moderna, then Janssen. They were all developed through Operation Warp Speed. But, I've told Trump's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, I've said, listen, Trump would just have to say, listen, he was deceived by Anthony Fauci.
That's right.
Everyone knows Anthony Fauci has committed fraud and his actions have led to mass negligent homicide. Everyone knows it. There's books written about that by Robert F. Kennedy and Rand Paul. So, Fauci is in the can right now.
Fauci goes as far back as with the AIDS scandal.
Right. So Trump could just say, listen, I was deceived by Fauci. The safety debacle, that all happened under Biden. So Trump doesn't have to take any blame for the vaccine safety disaster. And he just needs to come out and say, listen, he was deceived. And if he gets in office, he's going to make it right. And I think he would pick up so many more voters than trying to just either be silent or say, still say the vaccines are good.
Where is he with that right now? I thought I heard him at a few rallies. He wasn't promoting it. Or he got booed a couple of times here in Louisiana, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he should be getting the message. I guarantee his insiders are coaching him to either not mention it or don't admit you're wrong. And it's a giant mistake. He should come out and face the music. I think Americans would forgive him. And honestly, I think it's probably his best chance to win re-election is to come clean on the vaccine.
Yeah, that's true. It's not just the vaccine. I mean, there's so many things. We have election integrity. The list goes on and on and on. And that's probably why these representatives are saying there is no integrity in the House or the Senate right now. And it's not just on the left, it's the right too. It's establishment, and the two-party system are both equally corrupt. And it's sad. I mean, we have conservative, conservative movement where we're really pushing for the truth, but you have some conservatives on the Democratic side that, they've awakened to what's going on, but it's just a mess.
It is a mess. I'm on a bicameral standing committee in Arizona where we finally have state senators and representatives starting to wake up. But, I agree with you. Neither party is acting conservatively in terms of the money. We have, I think, about 486 government agencies. We have more government agencies we've ever had in our history. Government spending is out of control, both on the Republican side and the Democratic side. Both administrations did not do good on spending, and most conservatives consider themselves conservative on the spending, on the dollar, and both parties have let us down.
Yeah. Well, Dave, what were you telling us when we took the break? Dr. Peter McCullough, he pulled up your website.
Yeah. Is it okay to mention the website where people can get materials from? Okay.
Yeah, if you go to petermcculloughmd.com, that's a good place to start. But I don't know which one you're on right now.
There's another one. It's the Wellness Company. It's TWC. This one is easier. TWC.health.
Yeah, no, that's a good website.
Yeah.
I advise the company as the chief scientific officer.
Yeah. Down at the bottom of the page, you'll see. Well, in the middle of the page, you'll see the smiling face of Dr. Peter McCullough. So that's one way that you can get at the information, get at the medicines and so forth. That's easier to remember. TWC.health.
Right. It's important to understand that the wellness company has been trying to provide solutions. Our government agencies have given us no solutions. No solution for early COVID at home. Now, no solution on long COVID or vaccine injury syndromes. Most people with long COVID, it's due to the vaccine. And so the wellness company is offering what's considered ultimate spike detoxification, using nattokinase in their formulation called Spike Support. That's the most widely used product now for long COVID patients, combined with bromelain and curcumin. And so the doses are given there. And this is based on 2 peer-reviewed publications from my group in Dallas. We're observing patients carefully. They do slowly get better. We're talking 3, 6, 9, 12 months. It takes a long time. But it's the best chance to clear up all the ringing in the ears and numbness and tingling, all the symptoms that people get.
So is the long COVID equally contagious as the COVID when you first contract it, or is the contagion part of it gone?
The contagious part of it's gone. It's conceivable that patients with long COVID could shed spike protein. The vaccinated patients were almost more certain they're shedding spike protein. That's now been enough studies that have shown that. But the bottom line is they do have some low-level virus replicating inside of themselves. Multiple papers have shown that. It's a little disconcerting. But the body handles it. The main part the body can't handle is the spike protein. Body doesn't have its own enzymes to break it down, but nattokinase and bromelain clearly break down spike protein.
We'll be
Curcumin inhibits some of the inflammation. Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. This is Liberty or Lockdown.
Courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
Donate your vehicle and make a difference. WGSO 990 AM has partnered with Charitable Adult Rides and Services, also known as CARS, to allow you the opportunity to donate your car, truck, motorcycle, RV, or boat to our nonprofit organization. You may qualify for a tax deduction while supporting a cause that is near and dear to your heart. Simply go to WGSO.com and follow the link on our homepage. Vehicle donation pickup is always free to you, and most vehicles can be picked up within 24 to 72 hours. You'll receive an initial car donation receipt upon pickup, and then the CARS team will work to turn your car into cash to support our cause. Once your vehicle is sold, the CARS team will provide you proper tax forms in time to file. Their friendly donor support representatives are available 7 days a week to assist throughout the process. Again, for more information, go to WGSO.com.
Hello, this is Jack Clay. Thank you for listening and participating in the Jack Clay Show, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Our audience and management have asked us to extend the show to Thursday nights at 7 p.m. and we will be at least until the 2024 election is over. We will continue to oppose rich men north of Richmond who want to control what we think and control what we do.
Hi there, everybody. This is Jackie Gumbo, inviting you to join me each and every Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. for Uncle Jackie's Gumbo. A little bit of this and a whole lot of that. Each and every Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. only on WGSO 990 AM New Orleans or WGSO.com. Bring your gumbo, baby. We're going to have us a blast.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Tico Fox. Governor Jeff Landry has removed the job creation requirement for manufacturers to receive a significant property tax. Jeff Palermo has the story.
Former Governor John Bell Edwards added the job creation requirement to the industrial tax exemption program, but Landry says the requirement is keeping major manufacturers from doing business in Louisiana.
Tying it to the job creation only creates more bureaucratic red tape.
But Together Louisiana says the change to ITEP amounts to a gift for corporations, and it will not result in new jobs. Landry disagrees.
I mean, anytime you build something, you're going to have people at work.
I'm Jeff Palermo.
2 elderly residents from Saline were killed when their vehicle struck a tree that had fallen across both lanes of Highway 9 at the Inwood-Natchitoches Parish line on Tuesday night. State police troopers say 82-year-old Clovis Williams and 78-year-old Mary Williams were not coupled up and died at the scene. LouisianaRadioNetwork.com.
Visiting team for the coin toss. Will it be heads or tails?
Make your pick with Heads or Tails, the new $1 scratch-off from the Louisiana Lottery. Win up to $3,000. Unlock your winnings playing $3 Unlock It. Win up to $30,000. And check out the lottery's new $2 casino games. Poker Face, High Stakes, All In, and King's Ransom. Win up to $14,000.
7.
Roll the dice with $5 High Roller. It's loaded with $500 prizes and a top prize of a whopping $100,000. Kick off the fun with new games from the lottery. Pick yours up today. The Louisiana Lottery, giving you a reason to smile. Must be at least 21 to purchase.
Hello, Patriots. My name is Connie, and I am a fellow Louisianian. I started an online store in 2019 exclusively selling products which are made in the USA. My site is AmericanCentralStore.com. That's AmericanCentralStore.com. The reason for this ad is that I need products. I am trying to find drop shipping merchants with Louisiana-made products that can ship directly to the customer. If you are a Louisiana merchant who makes quality products, and if you can drop ship your products directly to the customer, I would love to hear from you. The only products I cannot carry right now are clothing items, but will carry those in the future. Please visit my site at AmericanCentralStore.com. Click the Contact Us link for the phone number and email address. Thank you, Patriots. Be American, buy American.
Hello, y'all. Let's talk daily from 4 to 5 about our town. The Cynthia Clark Show is powered by Vinyltech, the Gulf Coast premier exterior home improvement expert.
Hi, this is Kevin Carr, host of Fat Guys at the Movies. Listen every Sunday at 8 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM, the community voice of the Crescent.
You might be afraid to speak out for fear of cancel culture or losing your job. Christian Garrick Show on WGSO is your platform. Noon to 2 weekdays right here on 990 AM WGSO.
New Orleans, are you ready to have a conversation? Well, if you are, Ron Richardson is here to tell you that you should tune into my show, Conversation with Ron Richardson, every Saturday afternoon from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. right here on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. where we discuss mental health, disability, and everyday life. Tune in to Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday afternoon from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. New Orleans, let's have a conversation.
Good times never seem so good.
All right, welcome back to Liberty or Lockdown. We have Dr. Peter McCullough on the line. Dave, what were you saying? He was asking a question about the mRNA.
Well, first, I wanted to see, did the Johnson & Johnson have the mRNA?
No, Johnson & Johnson was adenoviral DNA.
Okay.
It was nearly identical to the AstraZeneca and then the Russian Sputnik vaccine. So that's it's a totally different technology.
Yeah, my cousin was in the hospital and I wanted to visit him, and they told me you cannot come in unless you get a vaccination. So I got the Johnson & Johnson and went and visited him. And a few months later, I got pancreatitis. So I don't know if there's a connection there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is connected. Now, did you initially have a sore arm when you took it?
No.
That's interesting. Most people with side effects a few weeks later, they initially had a sore arm, fever. They felt something initially.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, anyway, we keep
maybe it
tossing.
wasn't related.
I don't know. We keep tossing around the term mRNA. I'm a science and biology teacher, so I know what it is. But I wonder if everybody out in the audience knows what mRNA is. Could you give a quick description of that?
Inside a normal human cell, the DNA opens up and the body produces messenger RNA, which sends a message from the nucleus to the cytoplasm. And then ribosomes read the messenger RNA and they produce a protein. That's a normal process. Then the messenger RNA is broken down immediately by ribonuclease. What Pfizer and Moderna did is they took the messenger RNA coding for the Wuhan spike protein, and then they modified it. They did a process called pseudo-uridination. They decided to do 100% of it modified, so it cannot be broken down. And so the problem here is the messenger RNA is injected. It goes everywhere in the body. You can't get rid of it, and it keeps producing the spike protein.
Yeah. And our DNA has got the information in it to produce messenger RNA, to produce at least 10 billion distinct types of antibodies. But what somebody decided is we're going to focus on one antibody and never mind the other 9,999,000,000. And I think that's pretty arrogant on our part to say we know much better than God does.
Well, certainly not you and me, but it was arrogant on the part of the developers. You know, all the people who try to claim credit on inventing messenger RNA. Now, there's been about 9,000 patents. The major patent holders are CureVac, Sanofi, BioNTech, and actually the U.S. government. So no single person invented messenger RNA. Don't be fooled that one guy comes out and said, I invented it. It's not the case. About 9,000 patents. The major patent holders, they all work for the big companies. Probably the best claim would be someone named Agar Sahin and his wife who worked for BioNTech. Now, Carrico and Weizmann won the Nobel Prize for modification of messenger RNA with the pseudo-uridination to make it essentially permanent. And so paradoxically, normally Nobel Prizes are for good things, but this is one of 4 Nobel Prizes. The invention has actually caused vast numbers of deaths. It was protested, by the way, immediately across Scandinavia. People knew it was a bad choice.
Yeah.
Now, there's rumors that there's also the HIV in the vaccine. Have you heard of that? I've read that and heard it multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's now multiple papers with the infection and with the vaccine where a small number of people turn HIV positive. That's been reported. Biggest study from Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. Now, how did that happen? They don't have HIV. They don't have the virus. It's that part of the spike protein has a very similar code to it as a glycoprotein on HIV. So, and you know, one theory is that glycoprotein itself is immunosuppressive. So there is a term called vaccine-associated immunodeficiency syndrome. It means when you take the vaccine, you're more susceptible to infections of all types. Now, the Cleveland Clinic study by Shrestha and colleagues, 51,000 workers, the unvaccinated have the lowest rate of recurrent COVID. And then 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, 4 shots. The more shots they take, the more likely they are to get COVID, showing that the vaccine is completely backfiring. But we've also seen cases of leprosy, adenoviral hepatitis, and I see patients in my practice where it looks like their immune system is actually weakened by the vaccine.
Yeah.
So, what's this going on with Ozempic and Trulicity? The interview that Tucker did the other day, and there's another doctor that released some information that was really alarming. The Ozempic and the Trulicity is, I'm not sure, what do you know about that?
These are anti-diabetic drugs that are given by injection, Ozempic once a week. There's another one, it's probably a little better, called Mounjaro. They do result in significant weight loss, and the companies have opened it up for the application of weight loss. And they are safe to use. They generally have an improvement in diabetes. They're safe from a cardiovascular perspective. But when the shots are stopped, people gain back all the weight. So we're kind of stuck on this one. They're wildly popular now. The companies are promoting it for this application. Doctors are prescribing it. I'm doing it cautiously. I'm not against it. I don't think it causes harm. And it may take somebody who's severely obese into a safer zone.
I'm going to send you the Tucker Carlson interview on that Ozempic, and it's going to cause you to do some more research on it. The gentleman who he interviewed was very well informed regarding what's inside of it. And there's 2 actual interviews on it. So the one thing that I was hearing is something to do with some type of venomous something venomous, and that the venom allows the animal or the animal in the desert to go a week or 2 without digesting food, and that it is constricting the abdomen, something inside of the gut area that's causing some serious side effects. Have you heard of anything about that?
Well, Ozempic has been on the market for years. We know the side effects well. One of them can be pancreatitis. We understand that nausea, vomiting is common. There's about 36,000 papers in the peer-reviewed literature on venoms, by the way, since many proteins have similarities to venoms. But, I think that the listeners probably want to follow a doctor like me as opposed to somebody who drifts in on Tucker Carlson.
Well, I'm just curious because I wouldn't know either way. And when I hear these things, they make me very alarmed because I have family members who are taking them, especially after what the CDC and our government put us through COVID. I'm very skeptical.
I know, but that's the reason why you're talking to me.
Yes.
So I can help sort out what's safe and what's not safe and help you through. And, listen, I've been on Tucker Carlson myself. Except probably one of his highest viewerships, and I got him down the pathway that ultimately lost his job on Fox, bringing him the truth about the vaccines. But I don't want people to think that all medicines are bad and that they have to distrust everything. You just have to go trust the people.
That's why I asked you, Dr. Peter McCullough. I wanted to hear
Okay.
straight from you. All right. So tell us where we are today and what do we have to look forward to?
Well, where we are today is basically no one's taking the vaccines anymore. They should be pulled off the market. Association of American Physicians and Surgeons, by the way, is calling for their market removal. That's the organization to support, by the way, aapsonline.org. Get behind them. They're the doctor organization really kind of leading medical freedom. Mandates are banned in Texas now. COVID vaccine mandates. That's how dangerous the vaccines are. In Texas, we don't believe anybody should ever be mandated to take the vaccine and lose their life. So they're banned in some states like Texas. They should be pulled off the market. Almost everybody who's had multiple rounds of COVID or taken these shots, they should be on McCullough protocol-based spike protein detoxification, and that's with nattokinase, bromelain, and curcumin. These are natural products. They're supplements. The Japanese take them for heart health anyway, and they can be used safely over the long term. I'm doing it myself.
I'd like to get on that protocol. I'm going to email you.
Yeah.
I want to get on it right away. I know that after acquiring COVID 3 times, that I do have some issues that I never had prior. and it doesn't seem to go away. And it gets,
That's it.
I have struggles during the winter years or the winter months. It flares up and it's horrible. I can't stop coughing. It's like I have COVID, but I don't.
So that's it. So if you can go to www.twc.health, that's the wellness company, sign up and get a free membership. Use my promo code COURAGE. Courage. Get a free membership. Then once you get inside, you can get deep discounts. You can use my podcast discount code when you buy, and that's out loud. That takes like 25% off. So use Wellness Company to get your products. You order them, they come in about 5 days. And that's a great way to get going. You can always buy them on Amazon and other places, but a lot of people want to support Wellness Company since they do telemedicine, they'll do vaccine exemptions for people, really help everybody out.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Peter McCullough. Are we on a break real quick? All right. We'll be right back. Just wait for us. And this is Liberty or Lockdown.
Taking freedoms away. So send the message, I've had enough. We the people say.
Hello, Patriots. My name is Connie, and I am a fellow Louisianian. I started an online store in 2019 exclusively selling products which are made in the USA. My site is AmericanCentralStore.com. That's AmericanCentralStore.com. The reason for this ad is that I need products. I am trying to find drop shipping merchants with Louisiana-made products that can ship directly to the customer. If you are a Louisiana merchant who makes quality products, and if you can drop ship your products directly to the customer, I would love to hear from you. The only products I cannot carry right now are clothing items, but will carry those in the future. Please visit my site at AmericanCentralStore.com. Click the Contact Us link for the phone number and email address. Thank you, Patriots. Be American, buy American.
Chicken. Some of them old balls down in the Louisiana legislature are willing to let teachers teach our kids that all white people are inherently racist, and that Louisiana is a racist state, and that America is a racist country. Them old bars are too chicken to stand up for America. They ought to be put out on the chicken farm. Some people in the Louisiana legislature want to permit the teaching of critical race theory in our state. That theory says that if two babies are born today, one black baby and one white baby, that the white baby is the mean racist oppressor of the black baby, and that the black baby is the weak, incompetent victim of the white baby. Unbelievable. Those people say that the innocent white baby by his DNA is bad and racist, and the black baby by his DNA is a weak victim who can never succeed. Only a total fool would believe or accept this idiocy. Yet they want to teach this foolishness to Louisiana's young people. Please call your legislator today and raise some sand.
What does grace mean to you? At Grace at the Green Light, a 501c3 nonprofit, we believe that everyone deserves a hot meal, clean drinking water, and the chance to go home again. Our work is made possible through the generous support of Ochsner Health, Southeast Louisiana's largest nonprofit, multi-specialty healthcare delivery system. Ochsner Health, innovating healthcare. Find out more at ochsner.org.
I pledge allegiance to this flag. And if that bothers you, well, that's too bad. But if you got pride and you're proud to do.
So, Dr. Peter McCullough, we go to twc.health, right?
That's right, twc.health. And once you get on the site, you sign up. When you get to the sign up point, use the promo code COURAGE, all capital letters. And then when you buy, you can use Courage or Out Loud. I think Out Loud does a little better. But get the membership because one of the things that they offer is kits, home treatment kits to help protect you against medical emergencies. and things that come up. And when you purchase the kit, you get a deep discount there, and you're going to want to have the ability to refill the things you use in the kit. And so you need the membership, super important.
Now, what are the testimonies? Is this going to help me with that issue with the, it's almost as if it feels like I have something wrapped around my larynx. I went to a lung doctor. My lungs are beautiful. My heart's, supposedly doing fine, but I have a much more rapid heartbeat now than I've ever had.
Yeah. I see this every day in my practice. It's probably the spike protein from the virus. You probably had it several times. It built up in you. In my clinic, we actually measure the antibodies against the spike protein to see how high, we think the spike protein is in the body. You'll need the detoxification, nattokinase, bromelain, and curcumin. Based on what you're telling me, it's probably going to need it for about a year. And you'll slowly get better. It's not going to work overnight. Slowly get better, so you have to be patient.
All right. Well, I will be doing exactly that. And so, we have about 4 or 5 more minutes. You want to wrap it up and let us know where we are today?
Yeah, where we are today is that we have legal activity going on all over. So Ken Paxton, the Attorney General for Texas, is suing Pfizer for violating the Texas Deceptive Trade Practices. Pfizer didn't tell America that 1,223 people died with their vaccine within 90 days. They kept it secret, and the FDA tried to block that to Americans. So the FDA is in on this safety disaster. Paxton suing Pfizer. This is a huge, huge lawsuit. And just like the tobacco settlement, I think Pfizer's going to have to pay out. Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, they're all going to have to pay out for people who have had damage occur. Right now, the CARES Act provides liability protection for them. But however, if the companies committed fraud and there was harm done, and this was actually, willful, we have malicious intent to it, the liability should fall. The other big legal case is Missouri versus Biden. What you need to know there, Supreme Court's going to hear this in March. And in the plaintiff class is Dr. Aaron Cariotti, one of my colleagues. He's one of the doctors who's really told the truth the whole time. And this is about getting the government out of social media censorship. The Biden administration wants to be in social media, blocking people's accounts and trying to block important information about vaccine safety to people. And so the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons filed an amicus brief. I've talked to Attorney Andy Schlafly, who wrote the brief. He thinks this is all about vaccines, that in fact the government wants to push vaccines. They want to suppress any information on vaccine safety. So pay attention to Supreme Court, Missouri versus Biden. It's going to be a huge case. If the Supreme Court decides to kick the government out of Twitter, Facebook, and all the other social media, boy, we're going to have free speech back big time.
Well, we kind of got a little bit better with Twitter becoming X, but I see that there's still some censorship going on there.
They are. I mean, look at me. I'm nearly 1 million followers, and they try to block me every day. They put internet trolls on me to sway the conversation. Everybody should go to my Twitter account, P_McCullough MD, P_McCullough MD. Get on there, follow, retweet, get me over 1 million. I think if I get over 1 million followers, they can't stop me.
That's right. And if you want, that's up actually on the Streamline feed yard. So you'll be able to see it. You can actually Google that and his Twitter account pops up. I do follow you, Dr. Peter McCullough, and I read most of what you do put out there. And I keep informed, and I appreciate you that you've continued to come back to Liberty or Lockdown. Dave used to give those COVID stats in the beginning.
I remember.
And we hadn't seen anyone do that. You were doing that for a couple of years, huh, Dave?
Yeah, but then the state of Louisiana quit releasing them. It's because they're so low.
It's basically over with. Maybe a case here. I see cases occasionally. We use the same drugs in McCullough protocol we used to. We use nasal sprays, by the way, iodine nasal sprays and gargles, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin. We can use Paxlovid, molnupiravir, prednisone. Just use the drugs in combination in a severe case. Don't let your family members get sick and get put in the hospital. The hospital didn't save anybody.
The hospital ended up killing people.
Yeah.
With the vents. My mother-in-law, I had mentioned this to you, had taken the Pfizer and 9 days later passed away with blood clots, massive blood clots. And that was on January 30th of 2021.
Yes, yes.
I have
The
loved
blood
ones
clots
who
were
are on there. I have a loved one who's on who took 4 of the vaccines, and I begged her not to. And she gets angry with me when I even discuss it with her. It's actually my biological mother. And it's sad. It breaks my heart because I love her so much, but she won't believe me. And I don't know what to do about it. I just pray.
Just keep, we have to keep giving positive, friendly messages and hope people find the truth. Even if they tolerated 4 shots, the 5th one could be fatal.
Exactly. And we're finding out that 3 years later, people are dropping, they're just passing away randomly. I just read an article on a teenage boy here in Louisiana, 17 years old, went to a bass camp, a fishing bass camp for the weekend and passed away. Vaccinated.
Yeah, we don't know if every case is due to the vaccine, but if they took the vaccine, it's very likely they had a vaccine cardiac arrest. We've published that now in the European Society of Cardiology. It's fully peer reviewed. So the family members ought to come out and tell us if the kids took the vaccine or not. They need to warn other people. It's only fair.
I agree with that very much so. So again, give us your website because we only have a few more minutes.
So go to petermcculloughmd.com. That'll take you everywhere. Got the Top Doctor account on Twitter, Getter, True Social, my Courageous Discourse Substack. Most of the content's free. Sign up for that. And go to the Wellness Company, twc.health. Join as a member. Take advantage of on-demand telemedicine and the products, services, and supplements. I'm Dr. Peter McCullough. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Thank you, sir. The Lord bless you. We appreciate you. Dave, any follow-ups?
Well, when you go to that website, make sure that you specify you're looking for the wellness membership. That's where the discount applies.
That's correct. So I will be getting on that protocol and I will touch base with you all. And I'm going to be waiting. I will go through it for the whole year because I think I've had this irritating feeling for about 2 years now and I can't get rid of it. So I will definitely be one of those people who will report back to everyone and let them know how this protocol works. So we greatly appreciate you, Dr. Peter McCullough, and we hope to continue to have you back. Thank you so much for the fight. The Lord bless you. You've been so courageous. I know that you've taken a lot on this, but you never gave up. You continued to fight back, and it's been a blessing to have you on our team and fighting for Americans and fighting for the world. Really, it's not just here in America; it's everywhere. People know you throughout the world, and we greatly appreciate the wisdom that God's given you and the discernment that you have. Thank you so much, and the Lord bless you. We'll see you here again.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. So we have like a little time left, Dave. This is Liberty or Lockdown. We'll be here on Thursday, 5 p.m. Just call in at 504-556-9696 next week, and we have Dr. Stella Emanuel as our guest next week. Dr. Stella Emanuel. It'll be a great show. You don't want to miss it. We're here, right here at WGSO.com, Liberty or Lockdown. Huck and
Dave.
The Lord bless you.
From the lakes of